So in the end, he obviously didn't himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein. Shut up. I know he's your friend, but I don't care.
The Epstein files reveal Ashton Kutcher allegedly tapped into Ghislaine Maxwell's network to scout out a promising not-of-age girl.
My day job is as the chairman and the co-founder of Thorn. We build software to fight human trafficking and the sexual exploitation of children.
Ricky Gervais just pulled the curtain back again. Hollywood's ugliest truths are spilling into the open. And this time, he's not speaking in riddles. Gervais is pointing directly at Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, not as bystanders near Epstein, but as active participants in protecting him. The collapse of their public image began the moment people started connecting the dots: convicted predators, powerful abusers, dangerous men. And somehow, Ashton and Mila were always standing nearby. Always close. Always clueless. Danny Masterson. Diddy. Now Epstein. 3 scandals. 1 couple. 0 accountability. The ignorance never wavers. The timing never changes. The convenience never ends. Now Gervais is done staying quiet. He's asking the question nobody in Hollywood dares to ask out loud. So let's ask it: what did Ashton and Mila actually know?
Uh-oh, Ashton Kutcher. Looks like the Epstein files have called you to the front of the room. This is explosive. Now, it's no secret that Ashton Kutcher has a checker past when it comes to women, especially young women. But recently, the Epstein files have revealed that Ashton Kutcher has had numerous emails back and forth with Ghislaine.
Ricky Gervais has allegedly moved to suppress explosive revelations buried within the Epstein files, documents that have surfaced deeply unsettling connections involving Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. A couple publicly celebrated for their dedication to fighting exploitation and child trafficking. Yet behind that carefully polished image, leaked emails suggest that Kutcher's inner circle may have been in direct coordination with Ghislaine Maxwell, a woman who sat at the very heart of Jeffrey Epstein's criminal empire. And according to Ricky, this alleged coordination wasn't an isolated incident. It was reportedly one thread in a much longer, much darker pattern of deeply troubling behavior tied to this couple. To understand how far they've fallen from grace, you have to go back to where it all began. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis rose to fame in 1998, playing Michael Kelso and Jackie Burkhart on that 70s show, a Fox phenomenon that dominated television for 8 full seasons. On screen, their characters drifted in and out of romance, but the spark between them felt undeniably real. Kunis herself confirmed it, telling People magazine in 2001 that she found Kutcher genuinely attractive, even admitting she had a small moment of panic the first time she saw their kiss written into the script. The moment I saw him, I thought, wow, he looks like he walked straight off a Calvin Klein campaign. I was completely drawn in. I knew I had to kiss him, but my nerves were through the roof. My heart was racing, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I was absolutely gone for him. Kutcher, equally on edge, admitted he had no clue Kunis was carrying that weight. I was a complete mess inside. She carried herself like it was nothing, like she'd lived through this scene 100 times before. Meanwhile, my heart was pounding out of my chest. This little girl stood there, totally composed, and I was the one falling apart. Having to kiss her? That wrecked me. Absolutely wrecked me. What nobody mentions is the age gap hiding in plain sight. Mila was only 14, Ashton already 25. But a resurfaced 2002 clip from the Rosie O'Donnell show made it far more unsettling. Danny Masterson had dared Kutcher to French kiss a 14-year-old Kunis on set for just $20. A grown man. A teenage girl. A dare. And he went through with it.
That was my first kiss. Why don't you tell them a bet you made with Danny about our first kiss?
No, it wasn't the first kiss.
No,
It was like
go
a
ahead,
second or
Ashton.
third kiss.
It was like the first week.
No, it was not the first week.
Whatever. Let me tell you what happened.
No, let me tell you what happened.
No. Okay, so I've never kissed a guy. So I was so. I mean, Ash was attractive, and I was a 14-year-old little girl, and I was extremely scared for my life. Sure. And then he was very nice about it. He was like, "Oh, don't worry." So I was like, "Okay." Then Danny goes and goes, "Dude, I'll give you $10 if you French kiss her." What would you stick your tongue in my mouth or some?
What? No.
According to Ricky Gervais, during that same period, emails were allegedly exchanged through Kutcher's assistant, communications that pointed to deliberate attempts to arrange meetings with Ghislaine Maxwell while Kutcher was deep in production on his hit series Punk'd. Those messages contained specific logistical details surrounding an underage girl and her father being brought onto the Punk'd set, under the stated premise of pursuing an acting career. The emails laid out precise arrival instructions, including designated meeting points and contact numbers that were later redacted from the released documents. Ellie Halsman, who had previously worked at Miramax before joining Kutcher's production company, was personally designated to receive the girl and speak with her about breaking into the industry. Her visit encompassed a full set walkthrough, a direct introduction to Ashton Kutcher, and reportedly a shared meal. The sheer level of orchestration behind this encounter raises deeply troubling questions about just how close Kutcher's inner circle was to Maxwell, particularly given that a minor was at the center of it all. And this was far from a one-off situation. According to a survivor's testimony, Kutcher played an active role in drawing victims into Epstein's wider network. Even more disturbing, he has been alleged to carry responsibility connected to a string of prominent, unexplained deaths. This network is said to have stretched across the Hollywood landscape of the 2000s, entangling powerful and influential figures throughout the industry. Ashton Kutcher, once celebrated as Hollywood's untouchable golden boy, built what appeared to be the perfect life alongside Mila, the two projecting the image of an enviable power couple. That image began fracturing the moment it emerged they had gone to bat for their former That 70s Show co-star Danny Masterson following serious allegations against him. Masterson faced mounting accusations beginning in 2017. Despite an active LAPD investigation and Netflix ultimately cutting ties with him and removing him from the ranch, Kutcher had initially pushed hard to retain him on the series, and then, during Masterson's 2023 sentencing, submitted a glowing character letter on his behalf. The contents of that letter, which made striking claims about Masterson's integrity, ignited a firestorm of public fury, eventually forcing both Kutcher and his wife into issuing a visibly reluctant apology in which they professed their support for survivors of.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years so that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
Despite this, the Epstein survivor insists Kutcher's connections to Masterson and Combs are merely the surface of something far more sinister. For years, Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis built their public image around anti-trafficking and anti-exploitation causes. But these new revelations paint a deeply troubling picture, one where public advocacy and private behavior appear to exist in direct contradiction. The very charity designed to shield children may, in a darkly ironic twist, be entangled in the same world it claimed to fight. Critics have long questioned whether such organizations operate with genuine transparency, or whether they serve an entirely different purpose beneath the surface. In 2010, Kutcher and then-wife Demi Moore launched Thorn, a non-profit positioning itself as a digital shield against child exploitation. 4 years later, Thorn introduced a tool called Spotlight, built to process massive data sets and support law enforcement operations. Yet the methods behind it drew serious fire. Privacy experts argued the technology overreached, delivering less than it promised. The European Data Protection Supervisor went further, accusing Thorn of misrepresenting its role to the public. A closer look at Thorn's financials tells an even more unsettling story: tens of millions in revenue, aggressive lobbying campaigns concentrated heavily in Europe, and capital flowing into Kutcher's own venture fund, Sound Ventures. That fund is co-run with billionaire Ron Burkle, a name appearing on the Epstein list, with documented ties to both Harvey Weinstein and Diddy. Investor identities remain deliberately obscured. Operational details stay buried. Thorn has pushed for laws mandating that digital platforms embed scanning software, a policy that could silently erode end-to-end encryption on apps like WhatsApp and Signal. For critics, this isn't protection. It's infrastructure for mass surveillance. Meanwhile, Kutcher's broader record continues to raise questions. His vocal backing of WeWork, a venture that collapsed into bankruptcy, drew scrutiny over undisclosed conflicts of interest embedded within his media appearances. Then in 2023, the sex slapped Kutcher and Kunis with a $1 million fine for running an unregistered crypto offering tied to their NFT project, Stoner Cats. According to Ricky, what followed the public backlash wasn't genuine accountability, it was choreography. Carefully staged paparazzi moments. Curated media interviews. And perhaps most strikingly, a complete reversal on keeping their children away from cameras, now placing them front and center in a calculated bid to rebuild a shattered image. Ashton gives off the energy of someone who founds a foundation specifically to cover his tracks. So the moment anyone points a finger, he's already got the perfect shield, arms wide open, face full of innocence, like, me? No way. Absolutely not. As a CSA survivor, the moment I learned Kutcher had written that letter defending Masterson, one thought cut through everything, so the charity work was never about helping. It was about access to the vulnerable, and a carefully built mask for the world to see. Kutcher and Mila kept reading the room every few months, and every time, the air stayed cold. The forecast was never mine to change, Jackie. They told us Epstein built his fortune because he was a financial genius.
And the reason I'm doing this is not because I think in the crease is good, but because Jock told me Mila would sit on my lap and like.
Hillary Duff is in Lizzie McGuire. She also has an album out. She's going to be in a movie called Cheaper by the Dozen. And she's one of the girls that we're all waiting for to turn 18.
Kutcher and Mila Kunis have stood beside troubling figures before. Kutcher's name surfaced in connection with gatherings tied to P. Diddy, a figure now shadowed by serious allegations. Ron Burkle, who co-founded Kutcher's venture capital firm and appears on Epstein's flight logs, deepens the web surrounding Kutcher's inner circle. This isn't an isolated story. Across Hollywood, similar questions are emerging about celebrities entangled with suspicious charities and compromised individuals. P. Diddy's trips to Kazakhstani orphanages drew sharp attention, particularly after a child alleged Diddy tried to purchase him. Different faces, identical patterns. Celebrities routinely build or bankroll charities to polish their public image. Behind closed doors, however, these organizations often function far outside their stated purpose. The demand for real oversight and accountability around these foundations grows louder by the day. Yet despite the weight of these revelations, mainstream media coverage remains thin and selective. Journalists rush to cover P. Diddy's downfall, yet pull back when Kutcher's connections surface. The absence of direct evidence tying Kutcher to wrongdoing muddies the conversation, but it doesn't erase the alarm raised by those emails. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis began their fall through their vocal defense of Danny Masterson. The murky operations behind their charity Thorn, and shadowed business ties, accelerated it. Despite years of curated goodwill and polished PR, public trust has fractured. Skepticism lingers. Their reputations carry permanent damage. Their chapter stands as a stark warning about celebrity philanthropy, the price of opacity, and how personal choices echo publicly. Did Ashton and Mila know more than they've admitted? Was Thorn built from conviction or constructed as cover? Why does the press keep looking away? And the question that towers above everything else, how many celebrities weaponize charity? How many operate behind a curtain of good deeds? Who gets exposed next? Danny Masterson sits in a prison cell. Diddy faces federal investigators. Epstein is gone, but the infrastructure that shielded him breathes on. Same network. Same silence. Same protection. Drop your thoughts below. Do you believe Ashton and Mila knew more than they claim? Was Thorn a genuine mission or a carefully built shield? And why is the media still refusing to look?